A very good morning to all the students of PUC second year, Arts, Science and Commerce. I am Md Ghulam Rabbani from Department of English, working at Nehru Arts, Science and Commerce College, Kantikeri, Hubli. Dear students, today I would like to engage a class relating a poem, and that is On Children. So On Children is written by Khalil Gibran. Dear students, whenever you are going to write for 4-mark questions, you have to write a few sentences about the poet or the writer as well, so that your answer will be beautified by a few lines of the writer, and the examiner will be astonished, will be surprised, or will be very much happy to give marks, and lavishly, wholeheartedly he will give marks. So you should know about the poet. Here the poet is Khalil Gibran. He was born in the year 1883 and breathed his last in the year 1931. Means he died in the year 1931. Is a Lebanese American artist and poet. So he was Lebanese American artist as well as poet. He is a multi-talented man. His poems are considered poetic essays. So his poems are considered poetic essays. What may be the reasons? One of the reasons is that as the poems did not stick or adhere to the usual versification. So there is no usual versification we can find in his poems. We cannot find the verses, equal verses, or lines of the poems, or diction and meter in his poems. That's why his poems are considered poetic essays. The Prophet is his best known work and has been translated into more than 25 languages, including Kannada. So he had written a book by name The Prophet. It is a collection of poems, and that is well-known book and has been translated into more than 25 languages, including Kannada. Just imagine that how nicely he had written that his works have been translated into more than 25 languages. On Children is a selection from the Prophet. So On Children, a poem, is extracted or taken from this book, that is The Prophet, which offers a critique of the usual expectations of parents about their children and urges them to introspect. So this poem, it is nothing but expectation of parents about their children and urges them to introspect. So here the Prophet urges the parents to introspect themselves instead of introspecting the children. So now you should know about the poem, and the summary I would like to highlight here. My dear students, after highlighting it, I will send it, and if you find any difficulties, You can approach to me by sending messages through WhatsApp. The poem is very relevant in the present society as parents are too possessive in shaping their children's goals. So this poem is very much relevant in present society. It is correlated to the society because most of the parents are very much possessive in shaping their children's goals. They do not think about children's desires, wish, their emotions, their freedoms. They are very much possessive in shaping the goals of the children. So this poem, it is nothing but a poem where the prophet is advising and suggesting the parents how to treat your children, because here the very first line the prophet says that your children are not your children, they are the children of life's longing for itself. So the children belongs to the life's longing for itself, they belong to the nature, they belong to the future. And the parents should not be too much possessive. They should not fulfill their own goals in the goals of the children. Children have their own desires, their own perspectives. Let them do the free hand so that they can fly high and high and they can achieve their targets. The poem is extracted from the work The Prophet written by Khalil Gibran. Already I told you, this poem is extracted or taken from the work or from the book that is The Prophet written by Khalil Gibran. The poem is also translated into Kannada by Dr. Prabhu Shankar. So this poem is translated into Kannada too by Dr. Prabhu Shankar, and it is in the mode of conversation as a mother asks the prophet to speak about children. So this poem is nothing but it is a mode of conversation between prophet and mother is asking the prophet to speak about children. Now, when the prophet tells that parents should not treat their children as their own, because God is the original creator of the children and parents are merely actors who act on the wish of God. So when the prophet was asked to speak about children, he was talking about children and telling and advising the parents that parents are merely the actors and who should act on the wish of the God. Children are the creator of God, and God wishes that children will come out with flying colors, with innovative thoughts, innovative ideas, with creativity, so that they will progress, develop in future, and there would be new things, innovative things, technologies, discoveries, innovations, and they will come out with flying colors. If the parents will fulfill their wish and will not give free hands to the children, then children can achieve their targets. If they will dominate and they will not give free hands and freedom, liberty, and if parents will force them to follow the footprint of the parents, then they cannot achieve their targets. A silly example I would like to frame before you. that in 15 years back or 30 years back, there is no advancement of technologies like mobile phones and use of computers, internet and apps. Parents, they did not know. If they will simply urge the students, they will simply urge the student to follow their own thoughts, their parents' thoughts, their ideologies, their ideas. They should not follow the new technologies, new inventions. Then there won't be progress, and students or children cannot progress in their lives if they will follow the footprint or steps of their parents in a form of thoughts, ideas, ideologies. So parents are the medium to continue the creation on earth. So parents are the medium to continue the creation on earth. Though the children are born through their parents, they have their own individualities. So though the children are born through their parents, yet they have their own individualities, their own desires, their own dreams, their own goals, their own passions, their own likings and dislikings. Parents should not shape the career. Parents should not design the lives of the children. They have their own individuality to shape their lives. He says that though the children live with us, they do not belong to us. So he says that. He refers to the prophet, or you can say the poet as well. So he says that though the children live with us, they do not belong to us. Though the children live with the parents, they do not belong to the parents. They belong to the life's longing for itself. They belong to the new generation in future generation. Parents can give their love and affection, but not their thoughts, as children would have their own thoughts and ideas. Parents can give simply the love and affection. They can care, they can provide food, love, affection. All the basic necessities should be provided by the parents, as they are the actors acting, and it is the wish of the God that parents should be actors. They should act, they should provide all the basic necessities for the children. They should give love and affection, freedom, but they should not give their own thoughts and ideas, because the children have their own thoughts, their own ideas, their own innovatives. The prophet clearly states that parents can only nourish the body, but not their soul, not their minds and hearts. Further, the prophet clearly says that parents can only nourish the body, can only take care of the body of the children, can nourish and provide food, nutrition, malnutrition, and all the basic necessities, but they cannot, or they should not nourish the soul of the children, the minds of the children, the hearts of the children. The children's future could not be met by parents even in their dreams. The poet emphasized on the dreams of the parents, telling that the children's future could not be met by the parents even in their dreams. Even in the dreams of the parents, they should not design their own future by the future of the children. The poet tries to bring out the generation gap which is universal. So the poet, he tries to bring out the generation gap which is universal. It is a universal that there should be generation gap. One generation, the new generation would be far, far advanced than the old generation. And this is the wish and the desire of Archer. Archer here refers to God. He wanted, or he wants that there must be a generation gap, and old generation should not be compared with the new generation. In new generation, the children will come out with their own perspective, with the new colors, with the innovatives. They will come out with flying colors. Whatever the parents do, that becomes old. But whatever the children do, that becomes new. So whatever parents do, that becomes old, and whatever the children do, that becomes new. And God loves innovative things, new things. That's why here the poet says that give the free hands, what is called freedom and liberty to the children, so that they can fly high and higher, and they can achieve their targets, they can achieve their goals and their dreams. And whatever they do the right things. You should not stop them. You should not prohibit them not to do the things that is innovative. For example, our parents used to be very, very traditional, and now the new generation is liking the new traditions, the fashion, the new technologies and all, but old generation they did not like. He also says that life never goes back to the past, it always moves forward into the future. So he also says that, he refers to, the prophet says that life never goes back to the past. It never goes back to the past. It always proceed forward into the future. So whatever the children wanted to do, let them do. And they will design their own career, their own future. They will build their own future. If we stop them, then they cannot design their own future. There is an example of a movie, that is Three Idiots. I think that everybody has seen the movie. The main character or the hero says that you go after the skills, the success will follow you. So everybody has to follow the new and innovative things instead of old things. Everybody has to go after skills. If they will follow the past, then they can't be skilled. And the prophet draws metaphor of bows and arrows to compare parents to bows and children to arrows. Here the prophet, he draws metaphor of bows and arrows. Bows refers to parents and arrows refers to children. A question can be asked, what bows refers to? The answer must be parents. What arrows refers to? It must be children. And there is another metaphor also, archer. What archer refers to? So archer refers to God. God is merely an archer who handles both the bows and arrows. So God is the archer who handles both the bows and arrows, and it is the intention of God or archer that parents should bow down or bend so that the arrows will go far and far, will swift far and far, and they will achieve their targets. It means that bending of the parents will make the arrows or the children to go far and far and achieve their targets, reach to their goal. Here the God uses parents for the sake of creation of the future generation. So here the God uses parents for the sake of creation of the future generations. God uses the parents. Parents are the medium of creation of future generations. So you should not fulfill your dreams in the dreams of your children. Whatever they wanted to become, let them do. If Sachin Tendulkar's parents wanted him to be the singer, he would have been very, very unsuccessful singer. So whatever he wished, whatever the child wanted to become, just inspire them, boost them, and they give freedom so that he or she can achieve his or her target. Another example of three idiots I would like to frame here. There another character wanted to become wild photographer, but his father insisting him to become engineer. But he was not interested in that. That's why he was not scoring well. Finally, when he was given the opportunity to become wild photographer, he was a successful photographer. Likewise, it depends on the interest of the children. If the children are interested in sports or in science or in technologies, not in literature, let them do. If your child wanted to become literary person, he is interested in literature, he wanted to be poet, he wanted to be writer, let him provide opportunity so that he can be successful in his life. Here God uses parents for the sake of creation of the new generations. So God only uses the parents so that there would be a future generations, and future generation will be more advanced than the later generation. God never discriminates as he loves bows, that is parents, and arrows, that is children equally. So God never discriminates between parents and the children. He loves equally to both bows and arrows, means parents and the children. But the intention of God is that children should be given freedom so that they can come out with flying colors, with innovative thoughts. In final lines, in this way, the prophet advises parents not to be possessive, but allow freedom while shaping their children's lives. So, in this way, or we can say thus, the prophet advises or suggesting the parents not to be possessive. So, prophet suggests parents not to be possessive, but allow freedom while shaping their children's lives, so that the children can achieve their target and can come out with flying colors, because they have their own individualities, they have their own passion, their own desires, their own dreams, their own likings, dislikings. Eventually, means finally, the poet says that freedom should be given to the children and due to the freedom and liberty, they will shape, they will design, they will build their career, their lives, and it is not only the intention of a person, but it is the intention of God, the archer, who wanted that new generation will be more advanced when the freedom will be given to the children. So, dear students, after following this video, if you will have any kind of doubt, we can clarify your doubts by approaching me and sending messages to me. You can clarify your doubts. So let me stop for the day. Stay tuned for next video. Have a nice day.